What's up? It's Brad and Travis here with Home Slice Disc Golf. Got another review for you.
We are reviewing today the Innova Champion Thunderbird and the Saint Pro by Latitude 64. Enjoy. So when it comes to rims, these two are pretty similar. The Saint Pro has a little skinnier of a rim, making it a little bit slower of a disc. But other than that, they're very similar. This one doesn't have as much of a ramp going up towards the flight plate. This one has the ramp. It's definitely a little bit easier to tell. Yeah, you can see it. It also has a little lip on the end. On the outer rim, it's got a little itty bitty lip. You won't even notice it. At least I didn't. All right, so let's start with the Latitude 64 Saint Pro. Plastics, let's start with that. Gold line and Opto, that's what we threw that day. Opto seems to be a little bit more stable, but I will say that the gold line that we threw was a little bit more beat in. So it did turn a little bit more, but it always faded out. Great predictable fairway. You can trust it into a headwind. Gets great glide in a tailwind. It's got good glide in general. It's a couple of those Optos, I think they were pop tops. So I always like some pop top in my fairways at least. With forehanding of the disc, when forehanding the disc, it's also stable enough to flick it. I have issues obviously rolling my wrist a little bit trying to get that disc to come out flat, but when I get a good forehand flick, it'll flip up flat, turn a little bit and fade. No issue with that. I like it for those tunnel shots in the woods, things of that sort. Alrighty, so with the Innova Thunderbird, it's a great fairway. Funny story was I started playing and found this disc when I first started playing and ended up losing it down the road, and for some reason I never reordered one. So then I just replaced it with another fairway. So it was kind of interesting for me to throw this disc after 2 years of playing and helping my form got much better. And it was just as great as a disc. It flies a little bit straighter and still fades. We only had Champion during this day of throwing. Brand new Champion Thunderbirds, and they are stable. Those are pretty spot on, those numbers, 9502. Great into a headwind. It's pretty straight, doesn't really turn much, and it dumps at the end. Same with a tailwind, just a little bit more stable. The Champion plastic, I will say, it's a little stiffer than I'd like. I kind of like a Lucid. It's just a little softer, but I will say it felt pretty good in the hand. When it came to forehanding a Thunderbird, great. And it's just like the Saint Pro. It flips up nice and straight. Maybe a little turn and fades at the end, but it's relatively straight. Great for the woodsy shots. We didn't do any standstills from or with the Thunderbird or the Saint Pro, but they're also really good for little hyzer spikes from a standstill. That forehand, you could tell it turned. Other than that, these are both great discs.
All right, so the Saint Pro for me, I actually have bagged it for quite a while. It's a very straight disc, just like Trav was saying. You're probably going to be able to get it to turn a little bit, but like he said also, it's going to fade out. So it ends up being a very straight flight. Now I will say it's not going to come in the video, but from bagging it for a while, I have found that it is a little bit flippier than I would like. It does always come back, but there are definitely times when I get a hold of it that that it turns a little bit more than I would like. And that's where the Thunderbird seems to be a little bit more stable. The plastics, the flight was pretty similar with them. I don't notice a lot of difference. The gold line, like Trav said, it is a little bit more beat in than the Opto, but the flights are very similar with them. The numbers, I know we kind of got into that discussion on the last one, but the numbers on the Saint Pro, I would say it's a little bit less stable than what they claim, so just keep that in mind. All right, so the Thunderbird for me, this was actually the first time I had thrown a Thunderbird, and I really liked it. It was very straight, and it had a really reliable dump at the end. So like Trav said, I think the numbers for them are spot on. I really like this disc. I don't have to worry about it. In the slight headwinds that we had, I'd say probably up to a slight or moderate headwind, you'd be fine. Any super strong headwinds, it's probably going to flip over, but I really like this disc. I think it's more reliable than the Saint Pro. You don't have to worry about it flipping over. All right, so let's do a little bit of a recap here. So both of these discs, they're kind of different. They're a lot more different than I had initially thought that they were going to be. Enough so that I think you could bag both of them. For me, I preferred the Thunderbird. Like I said, this was the first time I had thrown it, and as soon as I left, I went over to Dick's and picked one up. And it doesn't have a definite spot in my bag yet, but I'd say it's pretty likely. But the Saint Pro, it's going to stay in there because it is a little bit more straight. I think they fill two different spots. What about you?
For me, I'm going to go with Thunderbird as well. We finally agreed on a disc. How weird. Same reasons as him. I actually think this is going to replace the Dynamic Disc Escape. And just because nothing on the Escape, great disc, nice and straight, but this is a little bit more stable, and I think it's also going to be a great flippy driver, fairway driver, when I beat a champion in or I get a G-Star. That, I don't know. I'll get back to you guys on that, but I think it's going to be a great straight fairway, and yeah, I can't say.
Probably be a little bit more reliable for you too.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it flipping over and
exactly
being gone. So
hope you guys enjoyed. Like if you like that drone coverage, by the way. That's pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, make sure you subscribe. Like I said in the last one, we're doing giveaways sometime soon. I just have to figure out how to do them. And yeah, thanks for watching.